I'm gonna try to do this a short video of gonna play an audio of an interview with a guy called Herve Comtois or Courtois. What's his name? Herve Courtois. Sounds French. Not sure who he is on YouTube, but he pops up as a commenter on Blanche's videos and Dana Durnford's videos. And I'm going to play a little bit of a sound recording of an interview he gave, and you'll hear this. I'll try to sort of splice it in. But here's our problem, people. Here's our problem. That Dana has been put in front of the courts in British Columbia in Canada. And these people are talking about Dana in a manner, in an apologetic manner for the people that Dana has called out. And what I want to say is that this is where everything becomes exposed, because when you're dealing with a subject that potentially is not the subject, the reality is the destruction of all life on this planet, and then to have a conversation about the how the dishes are arranged on the table. These people are so out to lunch. I mean, I cannot understand, well, I do understand, because it's called conformity. It's what we suffer from, the conformity of life, that we still think we're on the winning team when everything is falling apart. You'll still make you have some kind of excuse or apology for doing something or not something. The nuclear industry is destroying all life on this planet, and they're caught up in a conversation about a person called Dana Durnford and, to some extent, Kevin Blanche. They don't talk about Blanche too much because Kevin doesn't really mention names. Dana put his head on a plate for them because he mentioned names about people that are actually not on our side. They're academics. They're people still involved in a world the way it used to be, not how it is right now. We are being pummeled and destroyed by radionuclides. This is well known. People have expressed this knowledge. Why is there still an argument about this? Why do you have to attack a person like Durnford, who has said we are being destroyed by the radiation from Fukushima, and then they have programs, they have elaborate, what do they have? Elaborate systems of denial. It's kind of like Hitler. I see the nuclear industry like Hitler in 1933 coming to power, culminating in the end of that country in 1945. Germany was totally destroyed. So you basically have, as an analogy, the nuclear industry is Hitler running amok, and people in that country complying like these people. These people are apologists for Hitler, apologizing for the fact that he's destroying the very fabric of that society, leading to the end of that society. I mean, in 1936 or 37, Kristallnacht, when they smashed the windows of Jewish shops, and it was the precursor to the destruction of that country. These are people apologizing for those that we trust, the scientists that are supposed to come out and warn everyone and say, this is really dangerous. This is really dangerous. So why aren't they doing this? I'm going to play a little clip here. I'm just going to put this on.
When you're ready. Okay, welcome to European News Weekly. We're having a little discussion podcast, and it's going to be based on sort of freedom of speech. It's going to be based on harassment charges, as in one that's been put on at Dana Dford recently, the nuclear proctologist. He's out there quite around the alternative internet and actually on the mainstream media as well, as the evil blogger who threatened the scientist. Now, it does bring into perspective what's going on on the internet,
evil blogger,
concerning various subjects. But in this case, it's the nuclear subject, and more specifically, it's the Fukushima subject. So what we have with Dana, it's quite, you can obviously check this for yourself on the web, but he's basically threatened in words, and there's videos
It's not true. He has been charged with criminal harassment. It's not a matter of threatening people with anything. It's criminal harassment. He's trying to get them to come out and express the true gravity of the situation. These scientists who are actually educated to understand the severity of the problem that we have. And these types are still equivocating. And, oh, maybe it is, maybe it isn't, maybe it is, maybe it isn't. I'm a anti-nuclear activist. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't. Fukushima is the most epic event ever to happen in terms of pollution of this planet, the destruction of all life on this planet. And they're, oh, maybe yes, maybe no. Let's listen some more.
Knowing this happening, various scientists. And of course, that sounds quite shocking, but in the context of his complete show, which is a kind of an aggressive format, if you like, it's kind of a role play. So when we're looking at that, we're sort of saying, is that the right thing to do? Is that the wrong thing to do? Is it okay to do that?
Who's playing roles? It's a role play. You see, this is like diminishing the severity, the intensity, the passion of this person. Dana Durnford is passionate. And they reduce it into kind of like a circus act. It's a role play. It's like, you know, who is next in the ring? This is obviously, they're transparent. Immediately they're transparent. And you can see in the demeanor, in the speech, in the talk, the conformity oozes out of these people. The conformity. Don't rock the boat. Do not disparage anybody. Let's all get along and be nice and happy. Meanwhile, Hitler and his crew is running through the country, destroying everything, and people are closing their shutters. Like the artists, the degenerate art that Hitler trashed, these artists had to flee, a lot of them. Jews left Germany that understood things weren't good, things were going to fall apart. You know, unfortunately, with Fukushima, we have nowhere to run. And that's what these people don't understand. We have nowhere to run. Let's listen some more.
And does it have an effect on other anti-nuclear activists? If these sort of groups or individuals are saying that the Fukushima is much worse than it is, or are they right? So we can't rule that one out. And part of the reason we can't rule that out is because the lack of funding, serious lack of funding, in anything to do with nuclear, in terms of health research, in terms of environmental damage.
No, it's not lack of funding. This is something that they're going to now disparage Dana because he has done research for 260 days on the water. He has taken photographs of the tidal pools, which are not reseeding life. Life is depleted, almost virtually gone in the tidal pools. So it's not a matter of funding. This guy has gone out and proved it. So you want to create an argument about, oh, maybe yes, maybe no. You see, this is how the subterfuge works. The people in the system that still would like to pretend that life is going on as normal, you can just switch the off switch when you feel like it. There is no off switch on Fukushima. This is what they don't understand. There is no off switch on Fukushima. A little bit more.
So obviously the people that are able to do this most of the time are the nuclear industry themselves. Aside from that, we've got universities that have more independent scientists that are basically trying to look at the damage that these places cause.
Who are paid, universities are funded through corporations that, and the nuclear industry as a corporation is probably the largest, the biggest corporation in the history of all corporations on this planet, surpassing the Queen and the pharaohs in the past. This is an industry that is the biggest industry ever. Do you think universities don't get funding from these industries? So if you're a scientist in this university and you choose to criticize something nuclear, you're out on your ass. So what are these people talking about?
And so we've got Woods Hole, University of Vancouver, we've got Safecast in Japan. We have many independent people. Ian Fairley in the UK, John Large, the list.
4 or 5 people, the list goes on and on. There is nobody really doing any research on the catastrophe called Fukushima, and they're going to go on with their speeches about, oh yeah, it's all out there, it's all out there. But nobody's doing the actual research on the water the way Dana Durnford has done. Let's hear some more about this Herve Cortose, how he's going to jump into this.
Is endless. Now, do these scientists, these independent scientists, deserve our support? And how do we deal with people who are openly being aggressive and damaging to basically these independent scientists who, as we'll discuss, should be really worth our support, even if we don't agree with all their findings or.
I would equate this, the scientists, during the Nazi reign, they had judges. They had judges who were in charge of making sure that people who were considered to be deviants, people that were considered to be not part of the Nazi regime, people that were considered like gypsies or homosexuals or Catholics, or people that were considered adversaries to the state, to be judged and thrown into the gulags, into the camps, into the prisons. And these judges, and I equate the judges of the Nazi Germany regime with scientists that are still pretending everything is basically okay. These scientists should actually be called out the way Dana has called them out. And this little audio thing, an interview, Herve is not there yet. Let's go on. Let's hurry up. Come on.
Or suppositions from their research. So anyway, with that, we've got Herve Cortose. He's a kind of major blogger, if you like. And I think he's a little bit more than that. He's an anti-nuclear activist. He's a supporter of the Fukushima victims. I think we were talking earlier, and I think that describes him the most, as he has a daughter who lives in Fukushima.
I think this person is not necessarily who he appears to be. I have had quite a number of responses from a person that has a YouTube name that I think may actually be this guy, and he has been pummeling me on my position on Fukushima, that I'm way out of line, thinking that it's as bad as it is. I have a feeling it's this person they're going to interview now. He's returned many times, and I'm not sure if I blocked him. I think I actually ended up blocking him.
So he has a unique perspective on the issue we've done. We'll come to that. And I would say we're also going to be discussing, and I think Jimmy's got issues with freedom of speech, how bloggers should basically project themselves when they're on the internet, So with that in mind,
make sure you behave. Make sure that you behave, that you don't step out of line, because if you step out of line, you're going to get your knuckles rapped the way Dana has gotten his knuckles rapped. And now here's my comment on a person like Dana Durnford, who has actually exposed the greatest crime against all life ever in the history of this planet. And he has a mission. He has a purpose. Not only does he have a purpose, but this purpose is so monumental and meaningful to all life, to you and me. And to create some kind of a discussion about this, like a tea party. It's what I call the Tupperware party. These are the Tupperware salespeople that are out there trying to create a plastic wrapping around this, a plastic wrapping that is going to sanitize everything. This is not, you can't sanitize this catastrophe. There is no way you can sanitize this catastrophe. It's impossible.
I'm going to introduce Herve here. And Herve, over the last few weeks, we've been sort of keeping a bit of a track of this story. I think you've been mentioned, and I've been mentioned, and I've been called a troll. And have you been called a troll in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah.
Oh, you have as well. So we're definitely sort of getting a bit of flack out of this. But the main.
All right, so create an adversary for yourself to give yourself credibility. If you're called a troll, obviously, you have had an effect in some form or other. You're not a troll. You're part of the conformity of a society that denies the absolute epic quality of what we're facing, and to actually criticize and argue about the Dana situation, whatever his court case may end up to be. He is someone who has put his neck on the line. He's gone out there in great adversity. He has an affliction. He is in a wheelchair. And for you to actually get some sort of mileage out of being able to criticize a person like this is the evidence you are on the side of the death of this planet. That's how I feel about this. You are on the side of the death that is being caused by an industry called the nuclear industry. These people are the Nazis, the technological Nazis of the 21st century, the 20th and 21st century.
I think obviously the main person getting black is Dana. So I'd just like to bring you
Dana, it's Dana. It's not a girl, it's Dana.
About this issue about supporting our scientists. So what would be the rationale there for us to do that, even if we didn't agree with everything that all the independent scientists are saying?
Support our scientists, the people that have brought us Fukushima and the 300,000 tons of nuclear waste sitting that nobody knows what to do with. Support our scientists. The mantra of technology is support our scientists. Durnford's come out and said there is something wrong here. There's something wrong, and the people that we keep looking towards to help us solve this are just saying, shut your eyes, shut the fuck up. There's nothing going on here. There's nothing wrong.
Do we get enough information from them? And I think you had an interesting issue on how we might be able to interact with these independent scientists to better help inform them and support them when they're trying to make judgments that corporations or government may not like them making. So can I let you open up with that kind of thing?
Actually, those scientists who can bring us the facts, who are qualified to bring us the facts, are very few. If you take marine biologists, there may be only 5 of them which are really qualified in marine biology and radioactive radionuclide.
Only 5? Only 5 out of 7 billion people on the planet, there are only 5? I don't think so. I think there are quite a number more that know what the hell is going on, but they don't want to open their pie holes because they're going to be cut off at the knees.
Okay, in the sea. So I don't think we should antagonize them. To the opposite, we should question them, guide them, and support them, and pull them to our side, because we need them. We need them. We need to support them. A lot of them have an individual conscience, and sometimes they cannot get the funding from the
This is the blackmail. This is the blackmail. We need them based on the history of science that has brought us nuclear, the nuclear destruction, the science, Strassmann-Hahn, 1938, actually figuring out how to split the atom. These are the people we need. Yes, we could really use them if they could figure out how to put the plug on this one, how to stop fission from continuing, how to stop 300,000 tons of nuclear waste to stop fissioning and producing radionuclides that are actually destroying everything around it. When you get within miles of it, you better watch out because you haven't got any life left in you after you get exposed to this. And he says, oh, we have to support these people? Wow.
Establishment who doesn't want them to bring those facts out. So they need our support as much as we need them to bring the facts out first. To attack.
But they're not doing it. They're not doing it. Herb, they're not doing it. That's what Dana said. They're not doing it. They're covering it up. They're saying there's no problem. They're saying that there is no nuclear meltdown on the Pacific Ocean. It's not happening. That's what they're saying. So how can you defend them?
Them personally is not productive. We can question their findings. We can ask more details from them. and we can ask them to have closer contact to the public, closer exchange to the public, sometimes work out with citizen networks, but to address them, to attack them is not constructive at all, you know.
Constructive would be for them to come out and admit how bad it is and to present a solution, and then we'll support them. But they're not going to do it, because if they did, they would not be allowed to continue their lives within their community, within their framework of enjoying themselves on a day-to-day basis, waking up and having their breakfast and lunch and dinners and whatever it is that they enjoy to do and travel. And this is the problem, that we still think the world is what it used to be 100 years ago. It's the same thing, but it's not, because the age of fission has fundamentally changed the way the worldview that we have. And people that are still stuck in pretending that it is like it was whenever they believed the world to be a wonderful place, the world is no longer a wonderful place. It is the ultimate destruction. The mystery that we're involved in has been totally derailed by the manipulators, what I call the scientists, the technology that is being admired like a religion. The religion of technology has taken over and has taken us down a road. And I want to just say that I love the luxuries that technology brings us, but not at the expense of all life being destroyed. There is no value. There is no value in a technology that fundamentally destroys all life on this planet the way we're acting right now. There is no excuse. There is no apology. There is no religion of apology that could possibly ever justify the destruction of everything that we understand, unless you're a psychopath like these guys. They're psychopathic. I mean, these types talking about it like like during a Tupperware party. They're Tupperware salesmen. Anyway, it comes up. This is an hour interview. I'm not going to go into it, but this is what we're up against, and people that are criticizing the few activists' voices that are attempting to still try and make a difference. Just imagine this. It's like this lone voice in the desert, still trying, no matter what. This is the human spirit, the spirit within us, the passion, the grassroots, that sort of hardcore passion to defend your what is that? Your clan, my clan, the clan of life, to be attached to every single life form on this planet, no matter what, to try and defend that. The other side of this is to be attached. They're the necrophiliacs. They're attached to the death. This is how they come off in the way they speak. They're necrotizing our passions. Our passions are becoming. They're destroying whatever it is that makes us want to be alive. And this is why I support Durnford. And these people are psychopaths. They sound perfectly normal, but they're not. Don't kid yourself. These are not normal people.